Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to go over our bias and validity notes. The first thing we want to do for these notes is to define bias. So bias is something that you expect to find that can influence an observation or your decision about a topic. Bias is usually based on opinion, which means it has little to no backup from evidence. There are several types of bias, but we're going to identify just a couple of them to kind of give you an idea. The first type of bias we want to talk about is called bandwagon bias. You may have heard the expression before, jumping on the bandwagon. Bandwagon bias is when lots of people are saying something or thinking something, so you go right along with it. So for example, everyone I know is talking about how aliens are real, therefore it must be true. Or the big thing over the summer was Pokemon Go. Everyone says that Team Mystic must be the best, therefore I have to join Team Mystic when I finally get to that level in Pokemon Go. The second type of bias we want to talk about is called confirmation bias. Basically, confirmation means to prove you're right. Confirmation is we listen to only what we already think is true. So for example, if you think you're the fastest kid at school and you race the actual fastest kid 100 times and you win 10 of those races, it proves that you're the fastest racer. Now prove is relative because we know you actually lost 90 out of 100 times, but you beat them 10 times, so you think you're the fastest person there. Our third type of bias is a little more tricky. It's called funding bias. Funding bias has a lot to do with research. So for example, let's say that Gatorade is giving scientists money to prove how good Gatorade is for athletes. So they're going to ignore any data or details that says it might not be because they want to keep getting that money to help their research. The last type of bias we're actually going to talk about today is one that you probably have the most general knowledge about. It's called stereotyping. Stereotyping is when you expect a group or person to have certain qualities or behaviors. So for example, everyone on the track team is really fast because they're on the track team. That's a stereotype. Some people are on track compete in a long jump or do shot put and aren't really that fast. Finally, we also want to talk about the concept of validity today. Validity means that something is relevant and reliable information. To be relevant and reliable, it must relate to the question, so it has to actually have to do with what we're talking about. It has to be authentic, which is a fancy way to say truthful. And it has to be consistent, which means I have to be able to get the same result over and over again. Let's try spelling that again. Finally, like we said with authentic, we're going to just say it one more time because it is so important. It has to be truthful, which means it comes from a person or an organization that is not biased. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all soon.